Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Zihan118. I'm sorry for my voice. I am very sick. And anyway, I actually have started this series and I want to finish it. So I'm going to make this video despite I'm very sick. Okay. Now the scene is looking this because I have turned off the lightning. Okay. Now I have the changes that I have from the last video. I moved the cars here over here and everything is same. If the checkpoint should be there, and let's actually start visualizing the player's position on the UI. Okay, now first to visualize the player's position on UI, we need to create a UI crosshair. No, not crosshair, just a UI text. Now I'm going here, UI, and then a text, and let's make this text white. And I don't know where the text is. Okay, let's make it come here. There you go, I can see it now. Now let's make it bigger. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it, and that's awesome. I'm going to make the width 363 and the height 300. Now I am going to make it center and then bump up and give it a font size of 65. There you go, I can see it now. Let's go let player position so that it does not look weird. Okay, so now I have the text. Let's call this thing player post display. Okay. Now let's come back to the script that we were making. That's on our script folder and the checkpoint system. There you go. Open up. There you go. Now this is where we left off. We had a third region over here that determined the third car, the second car, the first, and the fourth car. Now we're going to determine the player's car. So make sure that your player's car is always car 01. Just to make sure player card is 101. In this manner you can change the transform here as well, but since we have already done a lot of things with the name card01, we're going to have it stay there. Okay, now let's actually start coding the player's position. Now on here let's create a region like that one. Let's call it region. Let's player position. Okay, and we're going to end the region here just like last day's video. No, not end def, end region. Okay, now on here I'm going to say if car01 dist equals to car no, if it is equals to first, then we're going to have to take that UI text that we just have created. Now to take the text, we're going to have to add a new UI something here. It's using Unity engine.ui. Okay. Now I'm going to create a new header here, just like our previous episode, and I'm going to call it settings. And on here, I'm going to create a public UI, not UI chair info. And it's going to be no public text. Shit. Okay, it's going to be a public text, and the text name is going to be player pose display. Okay, now we have the player pose display, and we're going to need to have another float, or no, another int, and it's going to be public int, and it's going to be player pose. Okay, now on here, if car01 dist equal to first, then player pose equals to 1. Now same we have to do with the other three positions. I'm just going to paste it 3 times. Now if it is first, then it is player pose is 1. So if it is second, the player pose is going to be 2. Let's say second, and here put 2. And now you guessed it, third here, 3 here. and 4th here, and 4 here. Awesome. Now we can actually look at this by from this public int player post on the game view, but I already want to finalize things by here. So I'm going to finalize it by saying the text that we have created just right here. Where is the text? You can find it. Okay, here is the text. Player post display. Oh shit, I forgot to maximize my things. Okay, there you go. Player post display on here. Now I'm going to say player post display dot text equals to player post and then plus and then this one, not this one, it's this one, then plus 4. Now the 4 here is the amount of car we have, and we have just 4 cars, so 4 there. Okay, now let's go back to our car. No, not our car. Let's go back to our checkpoint. Now we're going to give our checkpoint the text that we have just created right here. And let's find the text, shall we? It's under RCC. Where is that? Where is that? RCC canvas, and it's the player post display. Let's have it on here, and then let's start playing the game and see if things are working. There, things are working. Okay, as you can see, the player's position is working, and that's all we're going to do with our player's position. Let's start with our car's position. Now, to determine the car's position, I have actually created a position object. Now, this position object is just TMP text and let's say a triangle on here. So it's nothing too much complicated. Still, I'm going to show you how I made it. Now, to make that, I had to first import the TMP essentials, but this is I got the 3D object and then the text mesh pro. This might tell you to import something. Import it. There you go. This is the simple text that I have bought. Now under this, I have put it. Now I actually have scaled it to 0.1, 0.1, and 0.1, and I named it null. And then under this I put this cube. Now I don't know, no, and put this triangle. Now how I modeled that triangle, right? Now I modeled that triangle using Paint 3D. Just search Paint here. You can find Paint 3D, and you can new, and then go on 3D shapes, and you can use this triangle to create that triangle effect that I have created on there. Now I already have done that, so I'm just going to find the cars prefix. It's on res. There you go. It's untitled, and open it up. There you go. I kind of positioned it on here like this, and then made this thing 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And by any means, if your 3D model from Paint 3D looks, hey, what am I doing? I don't need the main camera there, I need the untitled. Now, by any means, if your 3D model looks very small, then come on here and then go on model and then on scale factor increase the number. Now by default this had the scale factor of 1. Now I increased it to 1000, and that's why it looks like that. Okay, now after doing that, I flipped it up like this, minus 190, and then I scaled it, and then I changed the let's say I changed the font of this. Now how I change the font of that? Okay, you know how to you know how you can do it. Okay, I will give you the player pose on the description. Okay, now how I changed the font, right? Now I have this dog V font. Okay, it looks very cool. Now to make this work with the TMP, I have to go on Window and then Text Mesh Pro and Font Asset Creator, and there you go. You can put your font there. I don't know if I can do this. Oh, no. You have to just put your font there, and then you can create generate font and plus. I mean, you can click generate font and plus, and then you will have the option to save the font at plus. Just save it on your folder. I'm going to save it just for the sake of video. I'm going to make it 02 here, and then holy shit. Okay, then close it. Now then come on your text TMP Pro and then put your thingy on there. So for me it is going to be the dog01 that I just made, this one. Just put it right here, and as you can see the text font is changed. Now I'm going to link this text font, this triangle. I'm going to link the whole position object down below, so you don't have to worry much. Okay, now I'm going to delete this, and this is how the uh, position system is actually created. There's nothing much complicated, no scripts. Now I have this on all the AI cars here. As you can see, car 02 has it, car 03 has it, and car 04 has it. Now I was thinking this video is going to be a small one, but doesn't feel like it is going to be a small one. Anyway, now let's actually start assigning these variables, these values to this car, so that we can see that which car is first, which car is second, and which car is third, right? Now I have put null on here by a default. Now null means it does not has any values. Okay, now let's actually make this thing boom. And then let's go on this third. No, first we need to grab the UIs, right? Let's actually let's actually grab this one here. We don't need this one here. We can create a we're going to create a new header on here. I know many of you do not like the header, but it just makes the works more organized. Okay, and I sometimes like things organized, even though I'm like a maniac on here. And I'm going to call it car UI. Okay, and I can copy this ones and then paste it here. Now it's going to be car 01 UI, going to be car 02 UI, car 03 UI, and car 04 UI. And the first one is going to be a text, just like we did in the end. I just copied it and pasted it on here, and these ones are going to be TMP text. Now how to get the TMP text? If you start typing in TMP here, TMP, it won't give you the TMP text. It's because we need to put the TMP on here. So come here using TMP TM Pro, and we can add the TMP on here now. Excuse me. Now text mesh, there you go, public text mesh pro. Now I can put text mesh pro here, can put text mesh pro here, text mesh pro car 04 UI. Okay, now I have the UIs. Now let's position, let's give them values. Now on our third, if we're not going to change anything to car 01 because we already did that. So we're just going to change the values of car 02, 3, and 4. Okay, now on car 02 I want to grab the car 02 UI, and on here car 02 UI dot text equals to second, no, it is third, so we have to say third. It's like 3RD. Okay, now semicolon on here, let's copy it and let's put it on here, and it's car 3 UI that is third. Okay, now let's go back here. Now this is the car 4 UI that is going to be third if these conditions are met. Okay, now we have done the third, and now let's go back to second. Now on second, we're not going to change car 01, we're just going to change car 02 because car 01 is already set on here on player position. Now on here, we're going to say car 02 UI dot text equals to second. Now I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it on here, and it's going to be car 03 UI, as you can see on here, car 03, and it's second. And lastly, car 04 UI, that is going to be second. Now, as you might be able to see already, we just have third and second here. We need first and fourth as well to actually make all those positions visualize to make those positions visualize within the car's race pool car's what was that position object. Okay, do I have an error? I don't think so. Okay, we have an error because what? Okay, let me fix the error and then I'll be back, I guess. Player post display dot text. Okay, I got the error. Now on our car EY, we named this car 01 EY when it was supposed to be player post display. That's why it is giving me error. Now I'm going to change this player post display to car 01 EY because we have changed the name of it. Okay. Now let's get back into it. Now we're going to create the first and the fourth position, so let's get into that. Now I'm going to create a region like this one for first and for fourth. Now let's create a hashtag region, and it's going to be first and hashtag end region. I really like this region, so if you don't like it, just don't put it. Okay. Now on our first, we're going to say if car 02, we're going to exclude car 01 as I said previously. Now if car 02 dist equals to first, then what is okay, we have to put two this on here. If it is first, then we're going to say that car 02 UI dot text equals to first. There you go. Now let's copy this and paste it 2 times. Now if in here we're going to say if car 03 is first, if car 03 UI is first, and then car 04, and then car 04. Now this is going to wrap up the first position. Now you can put this line on the first as well because it is supposed to be here, so let's do that. Okay, now okay, now let's minimize the first position. Now let's go to the last position, the fourth position, and it's going to be a region as well. So I'm going to call it region fourth, and then end the region on here. And on here I'll say if car 02 destination is equals no if it equals to first, no, if it is equals to fourth, we did the first already. My head is kind of clingy now. Okay, I'm very sick. Now on car 02 on fourth we're going to say car 02 UI dot text equals to fourth. Now let's have the semicolon in, And let's copy this 2 times. And here let's put the car 03, car 03, and car 04, and car 04. Okay, now we have the fourth position done here. Now let's actually test all this, shall we? Now to test all this, we're going to need to come back. Let's check for errors. There is none because your boy is a genius coder here. Just kidding, I'm a genius. I'm like fool. Okay, now it needs this UI text. Now let's give the UI text, shall we? Now okay, I'm going to lock it here. There you go, it is now locked. Now I'm going to give it the player position display that we just created. I'm going to put it on here on card 01, and then I'm going to minimize this thing. Now let's go to card 02 and the position object. Now it has the text TMP. Now this is going to be card 02's UI, and no. I'm clicking wrong. I'm so shit today. Now on here, let's give it the text 2 car03 UI, the text TMP, and lastly car04 UI, the text TMP. Okay, now I think everything should work now. If it does not, then I'm going to be sad. It will work, mates. Now I'm going to mute the audio. No, I'm not going to mute the audio, I'm going to mute myself. As you can see, now those are working. Now those might seem a little bit bad now, but when you are racing in a very let's say standard uh, position, then this is going to be more these are going to look more nicer. Now let's actually start the lab system now. For how much long we have been recording? I don't know. Okay, now let's start with the lab system. Now, before I do the lab system, let's actually finish this system that we have created on here. Now we have one checkpoint here. Um, I want another checkpoint somewhere here. Oh no, this is going to come here, and then one checkpoint here. Let's rotate this and have it here. Okay, now let's give it rotation of 1990 on Y. Let's see what happens. Yep. Let's put this checkpoint here. And lastly, the last checkpoint, let's put it here. Okay, I think this is enough. Now this is the reason I didn't duplicated the car UIs on the first episode, because I wanted to duplicate all these things with it. Okay, now let's create an empty game object and put the checkpoints there. Go to game object, create empty, and I'm going to call it checkpoint points, and then put the checkpoints there. Now to make the checkpoints work, we have to disable the checkpoints. We just have to enable the first one, and then we'll have to disable the others one. The reason being, if we have all the checkpoints open, then all the checkpoints are going to let's say calculate the things. We don't want to do that. Now how these checkpoints are going to work: when any of the cars passes this checkpoint is going to be disappeared, and this one is going to come around, and this one is going to calculate the first, second, and third position. Same with this one will go when a car touches it, and this one will come around. And this is how actually this thing is going to work. Now, how am I going to decide? How am I going to make these checkpoints go boom, right? Now, that's something very easy to do. I'm going to use its collider, okay? Now, I'm going to select the first checkpoint. It should be visible. Now I'm going to check this. I'm going to select all the box colliders on here and hit is trigger, and then I'm going to put rigid body on it. Now let's go put the rigid body. Now rigid body is something you need to calculate collision or to let Unity count collision, and we're going to use a trigger, so we need rigid body to let's say fix the collision systems and things. Now I'm going to freeze position and rotation so it stays static, and then I'm going to go back on the script again. Okay, now on here right here, if I'll say if, no, not if, I'm going to have to create a new let's say function on here. The function is going to be on trigger enter. Now on trigger enter, if the others tag is equal to player, then it is going to set active itself. So uh, game object dot set active is equals to true, means it will disappear and it will enable the next position. So I'm going to create a public next. Now it's going to be public game object and it's going to be next checkpoint, and I'm going to come here and I will say next checkpoint. No, I'm going to say, yeah, next checkpoint. Next checkpoint or set active true. It's going to be false on here. Now false means it will disappear, true means it will undisappear, if undisappear is a thing. Okay, now let's have this thing work. Now let's come on checkpoint 1. This will have no next checkpoint. No, this will have this next checkpoint, and this one will have this next check not this one, I'm shit. This checkpoint, and then this one will have the third checkpoint, and the third checkpoint is going to have the first checkpoint. In this way we can race forever. We can loop and race forever, and we need to race forever to create the lab system. Okay, now there you go, the next checkpoints are all set up. Now let's race. I'm going to mute myself again. Now let's do some racing. Okay, as you can see, things are working. We're getting checkpoints disappeared and in disappeared, but we don't want our players to see the checkpoints, right? So we can just disable the mesh render of it, and player will never ever see it. Just click on the mesh render and it will be okay. Now we have checkpoints, we have a racetrack that loops, and we have player position system done. Now we have to do the, let's say, we have to do the lab system. Okay, our video is already 28 minutes long. I think we will not be able to create the lab system in this video. Now, I'm sorry for this, but I have a limitation of 30 minutes. If I go beyond the 30 minutes, then it's very difficult for me to edit the video in my low-end PC. Now, there's one thing that I have missed. These checkpoints are only going to work if you have a collider on your car that has the player tag on it. Now, if you look at this car, if you just have the player on its first, let's say, first prefab thingy, then you are not going. This is not going to work. Just come down below and you'll see the colliders of these cars and then collider body. Now, just name this collider body player, or just give them the tag player. Then this is going to work. Now, this is same for this car. Now it's on collider and then collider body, and there you go, it is also player tagged. Now there, now this one is a little bit tricky. It's on chassis and then E46, and then on body we have the player. Now you just have to find your card's body and give it player to work with it. Okay, I think this is going to be enough for today's video. I'm going to see you on the next video, and the next video is going to come today or tomorrow, so don't worry, we're going to have this thing done no matter whatever it takes. Okay, see you soon, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos. Please do subscribe to the channel, as I won't be able to let's say I won't be able to motivated enough to keep making these videos.